Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Soul School Network. It's Sunday, July the 5th, 2026. I'm Greg, and I'll be hosting today. We have a fantastic guest, Jennifer S. Gerhardt. Grand Master is her spiritual name. And so she'll be sharing some amazing information about dreams and what they mean, how you can maybe even use them to your benefit. But first, let's do a grounding meditation. Korianka is here live with us, and she's going to walk us through and get us in the mood for today's presentation.
All right, let's dive into this relaxing grounding meditation. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze. If that feels good, we'll take 3 deep, relaxing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. We'll start scanning our bodies for any tension there might be, starting at the head. Your face. Scan the crown of your head, the back of your head. You can scan your neck, your shoulders. Just observe for now. Continue now with your shoulders. Scan one arm and then the other, all the way down to your hands. Now your back, from the neck all the way down to the final bone of the spine. You can focus your attention now on your chest and your abdomen. Are there any sensations so far? Any muscle tension? Just observe it for now. Continue with your right leg and foot and your left leg and foot. Wherever you found tension, let it go gently by visualizing that it is a white cloud that slides down your body, all the way down to your feet, leaving your body through the soles of the feet. Perhaps there will be many clouds of tension leaving your body, and that's great. You're letting them go, and you can feel good about it. Once tension is out of your body, it will be gone and transformed into life-giving energy. Let it feel good. You can stretch your body and make sure you are comfortable wherever you are. You are a beloved child of the earth, deeply connected to her. Notice how your feet are planted on the ground, either physically or energetically at all times, feeling the earth with the soles of your feet. Feel how your energy grows and extends itself from the soles of your feet towards Mother Earth. You are growing energetic roots that go into the moist, rich soil under your feet, uniting you with the mother, receiving nourishment and love from her. The more your roots extend and go deeper and deeper into the earth, the more you feel deeply grounded and held in love by Mother Earth. Stay present in this moment. Remain grounded and present in this moment. Grounded and present. Grounded and present. You can gently go back to your breathing, in through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more time. Now you can slowly open your eyes when it feels good to you and move your body slowly as you come back.
Thank you so much, Corianka. It's always such a great start to this program. So, welcome everyone. Jennifer, let me just say this again. Grandmaster Jennifer S. Gerdhart is our guest today. She says dreams are the movie script for the future, and you can actually direct that script. Learn how to use dream content to deprogram unwanted life dynamics, disturbing or traumatic emotions, and the subliminal psychic attack and mind control of the Illuminati, Freemasons, and even the political parties. She says, learn to take notice of such details as, is a particular dream an observing or a participating dream? Is it black and white or in color? Is it a karmic dynamic originated from a past life that bears upon the current incarnation? Is a dream a psychic attack? Is a dream indicative of mind control? Were you exteriorized, meaning were you watching an image of yourself in the dream? Know important dynamics ahead of time via your dreams, she says, and command the outcome in advance. So I welcome Grandmaster Jennifer S. Gerdhart. Welcome, Jennifer.
Well, thank you. I'm thrilled to be here, and I just really have looked forward to this for a long time. So we're going to have fun talking about dreams, and we're going to analyze the dreams that were submitted to me for analysis. So grab your pens and have them ready for taking notes. But first, a little about myself from a spiritual perspective. I was an MK Ultra child programmed with Theta Monarch mind control starting at 4 months of age. My father was a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Freemason, and my uncle and paternal grandfather were also Freemasons. So I come from a very long Freemasonic lineage, and I am myself a reincarnated Freemason from past lives. In this current incarnation, I've initiated into first degree Blue Lodge in two different irregular orders that allow women to initiate, and I'm at the most advanced level of the traditional Martinist order, the sister order of Amorc, the ancient mystical order Rosicrucis. So I love Freemasonry. However, I also have experienced the occult side of Freemasonry and the mystery school teachings, surviving as well as I have because I am what is referred to as contacted, which means I have direct connection with the masters of wisdom and have had this connection since I was born. Being contacted has allowed me to successfully deprogram the mind control and turn the tenets of Freemasonry, as well as the Tarot and the Kabbalah, to my advantage. One of the main methods of mind control used when I was a child, in addition to the standard MK Ultra electric shocks and torture, was staged family photographs created with everyday scenes and household objects, but with occult symbology carefully engineered into the scenes. One childhood photograph, for example, is a near recreation of the Hangman Tarot card. And the most recent discovery I've made is realizing Santeria is used within occult mind control programming. Logging my dreams for the past 20 years, I've developed a method of deprogramming the mind control from my dreams and likewise creating the future I desire also from my dreams. During this process, I became an expert in the tarot, and so I've now had a successful business as a master psychic for 15 years, assisting clients to overcome their challenges and literally rewrite their futures through their dreams at night, just as I have done. So it's really beneficial to realize our dreams are the movie script for the future, 2 to at least 8 years in advance. Before I continue, are there any questions?
I'll just say, wow, that's incredible history that you have. I hope there's a book coming out at some point.
I am writing a book, that's right, and there will probably be several because we'll get into all of this because our dreams are actually extremely occult and esoteric. And what we want to delineate between the two terms is that there's a joke in the mystery schools, and the joke is if someone turns out to be evil or to use spirituality for evil purposes. The joke is that so and so confused as occultism with esotericism. So when I use the word occult, that means the evil use of spiritual power and esotericism, and I am an esotericist, is the good use of spiritual power. Okay, so before I
Beautiful.
start with the dream submissions, I'd like to begin with why it's probably not such a good idea to control dream content via lucid dreaming. This is because the rational mind is generally not privy to the actual meanings of dream objects and content. They are symbolic, and in the astral dream dimension, any one symbol may have multiple layers of meaning. For those who are adepts in the tarot, this concept of layered meaning is to be found in the world card, Key 21, specifically in the wreath, which I learned from Freemasonry, which is interesting because Freemasons don't let anyone know they actually use astrology, tarot, and the Kabbalah. So they keep their methods a secret. So the leaves of the world card all lay on top of one another, and this layering dynamic can be present with any symbol or concept within one's own soul records. So when we're dreaming, we are our soul, and the content of the dream is the soul records. To illustrate this layering dynamic, I shall have my producer, John, play an AI avatar that recites a repetitive dream scene that depicts the layering of multiple meanings. And I had this dream several times before moving my store into my current location in Scottsdale, Arizona. So, John, please play my AI avatar for my store. Uh, it should be. Oh, they should be. Oh, which one is it? I can't see that far. There's there's one should be say mine. Oh, okay, then I'll just talk about it. Okay, so we lost one of the avatars. That's okay. So I had a dream of walking into an underground uh, chamber that had rocks, big stone rocks that were rough in uh, appearance. And my mother, my biological mother, an image of her, was seated at a Hammond organ and she was playing. And I walked in and I was confused. I didn't know why my mother was playing the organ. In real life, she really did play the organ throughout my entire childhood, and that was absolutely spectacular. And so I walked up to the observer right of her playing the organ, and I invariably felt creepy and that, oh, this scene has to be evil. What is going on here? I don't know why I'm here, and I don't know why my mother is sitting there just playing away on her organ. Well, does anyone know about Hammond organs? There's a legendary organ that's the B3, the Hammond B3 organ. My mother generally had two of these huge old organs in our homes, and she would play them. My father was the CEO of our family steel fabricating corporation. And so they would entertain. There was one of these Hammond B3 organs in the entertainment room in the bottom of the house, the bottom floor. And then she had another one in the living room. And so she was always playing this. And on Halloween, she played eerie, creepy music, and it was just tons of fun. And so I had no idea. I kept having this dream, and I thought it was evil. I ended up thinking that something was really wrong and that I might be under psychic attack. So let's analyze that dream because there's a surprising outcome to it. So whenever we walk into an underground edifice or going into the ground like a rabbit hole, we talk about going down the rabbit hole because we're going into the deep subconscious. So I was going into my own deep subconscious. The rough blocks of stone that the chamber was made out of. This is, of course, Freemasonic symbology, the rough ashlar, which is the right hemisphere of the brain and the mind that works through the brain, which is in the Tarot, the high priestess, and the Empress is the left. So the rough blocks were the high priestess. And so I was going into my deep subconscious mind on the right side. Seed. This is the seed thought that then gets transferred with uh, uh, ingress or with communion, if you will, with the light that then gets birthed as reality in the left hemisphere, the Empress. So I was going into that miracle side, and sand colored, anything sand colored is going to be the archangel of Sandalphon, which has been mutated for evil purposes into the name Sandalphon. So always we want to look in our dreams for sandals and shoes because shoes have souls. So shoes represent our souls. Now, my mother was the Empress because she actually gave birth to me. So we had me going into my deep subconscious mind, into the rough ashlar, and my mother then was who had given physical birth to me, represented the Empress. So I'm going deep into the subconscious. And I thought that this was all evil. So I then received a communication that told me to go and speak with my current landlord. And it was a huge, huge Kabbalistic tree of life. And anything over large in our dreams has more of that light that gives life to the seed thought form and gets birthed in the left hemisphere. And so it was huge. And so it was imminent that I would manifest moving my store to Scottsdale, Old Town Scottsdale, where I've now been for over 6 years, almost 7 years. And so but I thought, oh, this is evil. Somebody's trying to mind control me or attack me. Well, I dressed up, I went in, I introduced myself to the landlord, and I rented my store, and I walked up to the door. I was about to insert the key, of course, to right? Unlock my consciousness. I looked up, and guess what number my store is? B3. It's B3. And my mother played the Hammond B3 my entire lifetime. Yeah. So this is where we do not want to make the mistake of actually presuming we know what the meanings are to the symbols and the objects within our dreams. We generally have no idea what they actually mean. So, all right. So this dream repeated several times. I do differentiate between a repetitive dream and an actual recurring dream. Repetitive is that the dream content is similar, but not the exact same thing. A recurring dream is when there's been absolutely no resolution to what the dream symbology actually means. So, yeah. So that's my dream. So does anyone have any questions at this point? No? Yeah.
Looks like you're
Okay.
good to go. We
Okay.
will. I'm
Okay,
sure
great.
there will be
Oh,
questions
okay.
later.
Oh, they're too stunned. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to actually move to Greg's dream. All right. All right. So if you can find Greg's dream.
About once a year
Uh-oh.
for the past 20 years, I've had a dream that I can float when I walk. Each time I take a step, I seem to be able to glide just above the
This would be a recurring dream?
Is that if I
Pardon?
Would this be considered a recurring dream or not?
Is it the exact same every year?
It's the same, but different, probably different locations.
about once a year for
Yeah.
about once a year for the past 20 years, I've had a dream that I can float when I
The
walk.
action is the same.
When I take a step, I seem to be able to glide just above the ground. What I have learned is that if I concentrate on each step,
I see mine is right at the top there.
Glide for as long as I want.
One
before
Greg.
touching the ground. What's interesting is that
Float
it feels
walking.
completely real and completely natural.
I hear a voice in the background, but I don't hear it well. Are we supposed to be able to hear it, Jennifer?
We do have something.
I have a lot of. I was going to my mother's surprise birthday.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so that was Greg's AI avatar. So let's analyze. Was everyone able to hear the dream?
I think what happened,
couldn't hear.
Jennifer, is that the wrong screen was selected, so it just showed us the file manager
Okay.
with 6 pictures or so.
Okay, so let's see if we can get the AI to work.
Just has to,
Zoom presents a little bit of difficulty.
About
yeah. Just share
Are you
different
actually
number.
seeing the avatar?
No,
Not
No.
now, or before.
Not yet.
Oh,
but
it's
maybe
not
the
showing.
share audio wasn't selected, perhaps. We couldn't really hear anything.
Oh, okay.
about
So now we're seeing again the file manager with 6 pictures.
Oh, it's not working.
So
Ooh,
if
that's unfortunate.
the avatar is in a different window, you'll just have to select that one.
Can you double click on Greg's and then actually have to do share sound before you share screen?
Okay.
Technology.
Yeah, it's kind of dreamy.
20 years, I've had
Oh,
a
there it is.
dream that I can float
You can
when
see
I
it?
walk. Each time I take a step, I seem to be able to glide just above the ground. What I have learned is that if I concentrate on each step, I can will myself to glide for as long as I want before touching the ground. What's interesting is that it feels completely real and completely natural to do. I wake up each time feeling this sense of accomplishment, that I have this power of my mind to float walk.
All right. So everyone saw the avatar and was able to hear. Excellent. Okay. So what do we have here as symbolism? Well, we have the number 20. 20 is the key word. When we analyze a dream, we want to take each sentence and actually identify the meaning of that scene, that activity in the dream with specific words and concepts. So in this instance, Greg's dream has the 20 years. And whenever we are talking about numbers, what we want to do is go to our trusty yellow book, this little yellow book, which is printed by the mystery school, the builders of the Adytum. Now, the builders of the Adytum is evil, all right? But when we're dealing with all of the mind control that is prevalent now through the media, mind control was executed years ago through mainly in-person cueing and books. But now that we have the advent of media, as Michael McLuhan stated, the advent of television was when the mind control, the agenda, the New World agenda by the Illuminati and the evil Freemasons really was able to take hold, because just the media of television is not only, as he described, a drug, but it is hypnotic as well. So we are being drugged and hypnotized by television and videos and movies and by our cell phones. Okay. So now what we want to do is educate ourselves and become adept at deprogramming all of this, because it is all going in through the media nonstop. So one of the tools that I use is this yellow book. And whenever we have a number, we want to look here at the occult attributions of the tarot. And we look down here for the number 20. Well, the number 20 is the wheel of fortune. And so what we're working with in Greg's dream here is a cyclical reminder of a concept. And what is the concept? That this dream represents the wheel, the wheel card, which is the rotation of circumstance, which of course is also steering. And the word astral, where do our dreams occur? They occur in the astral dimension, and the word astral means to steer. So we're going to see this steering in a little later on with one of my own mind control childhood photographs. It's a big concept, because everything that happens is first orchestrated in the astral dimension in the dreams. Absolutely nothing can occur in this physical dimension without it first being orchestrated in the dreams at night. So let's analyze. About once a year for the past 20 years, keyword, Wheel of Fortune, years, I've had a dream that I can float when I walk, okay? So each time I take a step, I seem to be able to glide just above the ground. What I've learned is that if I concentrate on each step, I can will myself to glide for as long as I want before touching the ground. So the key words in the second sentence is will. So this dream is about willpower. And for as long as I want, that means your desire. Okay. So yes, we function on thought forms. Thought forms do create reality, but we also have to have power behind the thought form. And that is our desire. And our desire is connected to our will. And so Greg has very well developed willpower. And I would say that Greg has so much willpower, he is able to steer himself to manifest his desires. The thing is that he's floating. Where is he floating? Well, the astral dimension does not have physicality. And remember that all other dimensions do not function on distance, they function on frequency. So when we're floating, we are in the astral dimension. So the ground in this dream represents the earth or ether, the etheric body, which is the energy blueprint for the physical body. And it is also the memory body, because if we OBE at night when we're dreaming, we will not remember our dreams. So that's another thing we really don't want to do at night. We don't want to astral project out of our etheric body, because then we will no longer be connected between the small chakra between the eyebrows. So we have the third eye, the sixth chakra in the center of the forehead, which connects to the pineal gland, and then 90-degree angle up to the high self, the I am presence, right? But we have this little chakra between the eyebrows, and that's where our consciousness actually connects into the etheric body, which is the memory body. So all the chakras, the 7 main ones in the etheric body, function through that etheric body and contain the memories. And we can have memories also, DNA. So DNA is controlled by our emotion. Okay? We can change our DNA at any time just by, again, willing with the power of the emotion behind the thought form. So now, what does this mean? Memory is a function of remaining connected between the eyebrows. And in this analysis, I suspect that Greg actually attained sufficient spiritual adeptship to will his reality. And he has been able to do this for the past 20 years. So it's his consciousness. This dream is simply his consciousness giving him a reminder every year to maintain that level of consciousness. And maintenance in the Trinity, creation, maintenance, dissolution, or destruction, maintenance is really important, keeping our spiritual adeptship in place.
Thanks, Jennifer. I will just say this to you, which is kind of interesting. I worked in the media before, probably a little over 20 years ago, and the dream started after that. So I think after I left working in television news, I needed to find out how to steer my ship, if you will. But thank you so much.
Exactly. That's fascinating. So that tells you right there. That tells you right there. All righty. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we have the first dream from Michelle. John, can you play Michelle's avatar? I was with my mom. I was with.
I was with my mom in the dream, and we were walking around a city I didn't recognize. We were lost and just wandering the streets. We walked into an office building to ask for directions, but it was deserted. Suddenly, my mom's cell phone showed this warning notification saying there was a tsunami coming to exactly where we were. In the dream state, I felt a sense of stress and was wondering to myself if this building was tall enough for the tsunami not to overwhelm it. That's when I woke up.
All right. Okay. So let's dig into this one. They get more intense as we go along here. So first, the first sentence is, I was with my mom in the dream, and we were walking around a city I didn't recognize. Now, whenever we see parents within a dream, we want to start understanding that the parental figure is usually an aspect of our own consciousness, the ancient Egyptian father mother god. And so when it comes to the moms, we want to determine if it's the right mom, potential mom of miracles, and the left. And just let me say that in standard religiosity, the right and left aspects, the high priestess and the empress, are combined into one, which I consider to be extremely unbeneficial, because then we do not have the exact control over our dream content and our lives as we could have if they are separated, which the ancient Cathars said there were two Jesus babies. There was a white baby and a black baby. And of course, this is absolutely true. And so they were prosecuted for their beliefs because they were more accurate in their depictions. So I was with my mom. Okay, so which mom is it? We know immediately that this is the Empress because it's in a city. A city is the esoteric symbol for the left hemisphere. Any kind of field or outdoors is the right hemisphere. Okay, so we know that this is habitual consciousness, and we know that there's something then that's going to be birthed because our reality is birthed from the Empress. Okay, unless it's a miracle, and then it's birthed by that black baby, Jesus baby. Okay, so we were lost and just wandering the streets. Okay, so now we've got some heavy duty dynamics going on here at a soul level. We have soul loss. Lost means soul loss, and wandering is the same thing. This means the steering is off in the astral dimension. And what do we know? We know that since the mom was the Empress, habitual consciousness, that what's going to be birthed is from an outside influence. Okay. We walked into an office building to ask for directions, but it was deserted. This dream is absolutely loaded with esoteric symbology. So, what's the office building? Now, let's talk about polytheism. Okay, ancient Egyptian, any other polytheistic religious philosophies, such as Hinduism, all those gods and goddesses, in actuality, are our own levels of consciousness that create our reality. So, in actuality, polytheism, in my opinion, is much more accurate than monotheism. Evil comes from monotheism. Okay, so eventually, yes, there's one God, just like Hinduism states, but we do have all these other levels, and all of these other levels can be accessed, and the Kabbalistic tree of life is the map for accessing those 7 different levels of the soul. So the office building is a very typical esoteric symbol for angelic levels. They are the angles. An angel is not a live entity. It is an angle of one's own consciousness. And so the office building is the location, and we can say on the Kabbalistic tree of life in one of the Sephirot, where these angelic levels, angles of consciousness of Michelle's soul, were located. So she was she was rising on the plains, and she was walking right into a particular Sephirot to see what was going on. And what did she find? Oh, all those angelic levels, all those angles of consciousness of her habitual consciousness, the Empress, were gone, missing, deserted. Okay, so this tells us why she experienced the soul loss and the wandering around the city. So her inner guidance, gone. Now, next sentence. Suddenly, my mom's cell phone showed this warning notification saying there was a tsunami coming to exactly where we were. Okay, what are the key concepts here? We know who the mom is, but that's the habitual. Now, the mom is the empress, but the cell phone, what's the cell phone? Well, cell phones, they function on airwaves, don't they? They function through the ether, in other words. So cell phones represent telepathy, and all we have to do if we're under psychic attack is block someone on our cell phone, and you will effectively block their spiritual forces immediately, because the cell phone is the telepathic communication that is conducted by the high priestess. And remember, 911, the Twin Towers in New York. The tower with the antenna was the high priestess, and the other tower was the empress, and the airplanes represent the plane of air, and so that was a psychic attack on every single American in this country. So the cell phone, the telepathic incoming messaging from the high priestess, who represents basically the astral body that is always alert and in constant communication through quantum physics entanglement. Remember, we are a quantum field in a greater quantum physics field of the universe. And so we are in entanglement with everything and everybody else. But we do have individual identity. So that is represented by the right hemisphere, the cell phone, and she's saying ding, 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 notification, warning, okay? Incoming forces, hostile forces. So they're saying there was a tsunami. What is a tsunami? Okay, so let's get into what a tsunami is. Now, this is a Japanese term. Okay, it's a word, Japanese word. It used to be called a tidal wave, a catastrophic ocean wave. And so a tsunami represents incoming mind stuff, because water is mind stuff and it's the substance of the soul. But now we have perhaps a little layering of Santeria, potential Santeria, because the goddess ocean, catastrophic ocean wave. So there can be some Santeria layered onto this. Remember the layered meanings. So let's see, and the fact that that where we were targeted, where we were. So that means that somebody probably targeted Michelle. And this dream was giving her all the details of that targeting. So in the dream state, I felt a sense of stress and was wondering to myself if this building was tall enough for the tsunami not to overwhelm it. Okay, so stress means that fight, flight, or freeze was activated. So the subconscious mind absolutely perceived an attack, an incoming attack, which we actually call, when it's really large like that, we call it a tourbillon. And so survival instinct was activated, which is why the warning notification came in. And now, what about tall? What is this? Was the building tall enough? Was her angelic level of consciousness that the attack was coming in on sufficiently robust and adept? Tall means long, means old. Whenever we see something tall in symbology, that means old. Anything short is new. This is how the subrational mind represents concepts and beliefs that are old and perhaps from past lives, or they're newly coming in. So Michelle's concern was, is my angelic level sufficiently adept, experienced, and strong enough to withstand the tsunami coming in? And we can presume that it was. The fact that she actually had that thought. Now, remember, the mental body is at a higher level than the astral uh, emotional body. And so she went to a higher level of consciousness and thwarted it. I would say that she probably did not really have any catastrophic happening. And perhaps if there was impact that manifested, it probably was minimized. Are there any questions? Do you have any questions, Michelle?
No, I actually, when I had that dream, I actually thought it was because I was psychically, because I get these psychic feelings sometimes about the Venezuela earthquakes, because I happened the next day, like I found out about them the next day. So I thought it was like connected with that. But now I'm like, wow, that's like totally way more in debt than I thought that it was like. I never thought it was like a psychic attack. I guess like it does make a lot more sense now.
Oh, yes, because the entire look at what happened uh, in esotericism, there's a concept of the weather. So remember, we have air, earth, fire, and water. These are the elements of consciousness in the emotional astral dimension. And so when we refer to energies in the interdimensionally, we talk about the weather. This is all the weather. So the concept of weather is huge. I would say that you were psychically tapping into the dynamics that were physically manifested by the people who experienced the catastrophe. You through entanglement and so forth were connected. So you probably have some kind of spiritual connection to those people and that type of catastrophic happening from past lives. But
Yeah.
what I would do is I would actually, and remember, it's all symbolic, I would actually analyze what else was happening in your life, because this was pretty, in my opinion, this was pretty personal. But let me say that you did not experience anything catastrophic, so that you overcame it, whereas the people who experienced the catastrophe succumbed to the weather.
Yeah, I've had like dreams like that before when there's been earthquakes or big catastrophes like that. So that's why I assumed. So this actually brings a lot more clarity to a lot of the dreams I've had in the past as well.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting once we start to really analyze what's going on. So now your next one is very interesting as well. So let's look at that one. John, can you yeah, that's the one. Yeah, okay, so let me find that one. Okay, that's okay, here we go. Yep.
There it is.
Recurring dreams that involve me visiting amusement parks, usually Disneyland, but also other places that have these huge roller coasters. Another theme is staying at hotels or being stuck at the airport.
All right. Okay. So let's dig into this. I have a lot of reoccurring dreams that involve me visiting amusement parks, usually Disneyland, but also other places that have these huge roller coasters. All right. Okay. So Disneyland, we know there's all kinds of occult symbolism in Disneyland. We already know this. And now roller coasters. Okay, so roller coasters, right? So we want to dig into what roller coasters actually mean. So in my research about roller coasters, I found the original inverted impulse roller coaster, linear Gale. So now the thing to realize is that dream content is not sporadic. Dream content is logical and actually is conducted by our various levels of consciousness in a very serial uh, manner so that all the dreams generally within one night of dream sequencing, they all are referring to the same concepts and dynamics, just at different levels on that Kabbalistic tree of life. So I call those sets. And we actually dream up to 7 sets a night. I can generally remember 3 to 4 sets a night, and I know exactly which levels of consciousness all of that content is being processed within. So I would say that these dreams in actuality do connect. There are correlations. Linear Gale, we're right back to weather. Okay. And let's just read about impulse coasters that I found online. In 2008, the ride opened under the name Voodoo, but was changed to Possessed the following year. The ride continues to operate at Dorney Park. Okay. Steel Venom at right. We're getting an idea of the energies with roller coasters, aren't we? Blah blah land in China opened legendary Twin Dragon. Okay, right and left uh, hemispheres, stealing Wicked Twister's record as the tallest impulse coaster in the world at 230 feet. Okay, so what's if as I was researching these roller coasters, because I won't ride one, I had to read about it. The number 23 kept coming up. What's what's the significance of the number 23? Well, 23 is the death card. It's the death number of Freemasonry. If the Freemasons want to do death magic on someone, they will use their death number of 23 that goes all the way back to a Freemason in the 1700s, a very famous artist. So now, this installation uses the more modern blah, 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 while also featuring Intamin's newer high stress track design. So we have some key concepts with roller coasters and high stress track design. They are designed to create high stress, put us into fight, flight, or freeze. Same thing as the disaster, the tsunami, catastrophic, tidal wave dynamic, stress. Okay. So another theme is staying at hotels or being stuck at the airport. So what do hotels mean? When I was deprogramming the MK Ultra mind control, I had a lot of dreams about hotel rooms. Now, for some people who have never been mind controlled overtly, hotels represent going on vacation and having fun. And that is the implication of amusement parks. So, what we have here, in my opinion, is we have a layering, going back to that, the world card and the layering concept. We have a layering of amusement onto stress. Okay. So within the deep subconscious mind, we would want to start deprogramming this layering of amusement onto high stress dynamics, because hotels represent basically aspects of consciousness that are not your own. Those are not your your own levels of consciousness. So a hotel is something other than yourself. Just like in Freemasonry, when they want to mind control someone, there's a motto in Freemasonry: only a master mason can travel to foreign countries, because a foreign country is used as the magical land, and only a master mason can do that. So the Freemasons and the Illuminati control the spiritual power of everyone, and this is how they do it. So hotels were a frequent dynamic in my dreams, and a lot of clutter, a lot of baggage and suitcases that were not mine, etc., trying to gather my things in amidst all the clutter and chaos. And stuck at an airport. What does an airport represent? The plane of air, the dimension of air. Okay, so going back to the airplane. So what we want to do, and this takes training, I teach my clients when I am giving readings how to start to use their dreams to deprogram anything they don't want and program in what they do want. And one of the most important dynamics for anyone under any potential psychic attack is to start separating the words in the word airplane. Air, plane. Air, plane is dimensions of air, which is the dimension of thought. So I would say that these dreams are layered meanings of actually dissociated aspects of consciousness.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, yeah. And any comments? Any comments?
Well, I was just looking at a more shallow way. Like I was thinking more like Disneyland meant, because like I'm a big Disney fan. I know it has a dark side, but I love the creativity. And also like the roller coasters. I thought it's because I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I thought maybe that was. But yeah, this is way more than I thought.
Precisely. So our dreams tell us what's really happening, because the entire media, right? The entire media aspect of Hollywood, and this is big business because it's all for amusement. Now, remember that amusement is the decoy. That's the decoy. That is to sucker everyone in to the fun and the frivolity. Oh, it's just a movie. Oh, it's just a roller coaster. But look what you're addicted to. Stress.
Jennifer,
Okay.
Michael has a question for you, or a comment to add.
You bet.
If you mind.
Hi,
Michael?
Michael.
Hi, good morning. That was spectacular. Great
thank
stuff.
you.
I could go on and on about dreams. As Susan could tell you, I entertain Susan just about every morning with my dreams. But I want to talk about an experience that I had yesterday, and that just occurred as you were interpreting the dreams. Yesterday I was sitting, we're in Peru, we're in the Sacred Valley, we're in just an incredible, beautiful territory and terrain. And it's a bird sanctuary. There are many, many birds. And one of the birds that constantly appear are hummingbirds. And yesterday I was sitting on the balcony looking at the mountains, and where I am right now, I'm looking out at the mountains through my window. And yesterday, as I was sitting on the balcony, there's a tree adjacent to the balcony, and the hummingbird appeared. Not normally on that tree. It's usually in the trees behind and in the flowers behind. but it appeared in the tree and it began going to flower from flower to flower. And then it came right into my line of vision at the balcony level, fluttering, dancing, back to the tree, then came right onto the balcony, right in front of me, and danced back to the tree. And then it went around and it came back behind me and danced, and then back around. While you were interpreting the dreams during this session, this beautiful, beautiful green hummingbird was on the tree that I can see out my window. And then it came out and danced right in front of my window, back to the tree. And as you were interpreting the dream of Greg, it would come back and it would literally appear right in front of me. And then it would back out, back down. Then when you were interpreting the dream of Michelle, the same thing. It would come up, and then at the end of your interpretation of Michelle's dream, it came up and then it turned and it just shot towards the mountain. What can I say? What can I say?
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Yes, well, we're all interconnected here.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And these are powerful. These are powerful forces. We are powerful beings. That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. And okay, well, thank you for sharing that. So we had some commentary from the other dimensions.
Well, and I can go a bit deeper in it, in that everyone here knows that Susan and myself and our family were fortunate to work with an Algonquin elder for some 16 years named Grandfather William Commanda. And for us, for our family, the hummingbird represents the spirit of grandfather. And why? Grandfather was diagnosed by doctors way back when with stomach cancer. And he went home to his wife, who was very traditional, and said, never mind all that stuff. The doctor's telling you have 3 months. And she took him to a medicine man. And he was eventually cured. And then he walked the spiritual path from there on. But what happened was he was alone in his house, on his knees, praying to be delivered from this cancer. And the hummingbird appeared 3 times on the window. Buck, 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 buck. So for us, the spirit, because grandfather went into the spirit world in 2011, for us, the hummingbird represents the spirit of Grandfather William Commanda. And to have that presence yesterday, and then today as you're interpreting the dreams, to have that.
Spectacular.
Amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Fascinating. So that's really wonderful. That's a very high bird. The hummingbirds are so beautiful, and and they hum like the hum of our I am presence above our heads. Right. Yeah. So okay, John, do we have John Michael's first avatar?
Just want to mention John Michael had to leave, but he
Oh.
will hear the recording.
Okay,
he had
very
another
good.
meeting. Yeah.
Yep.
I was going to my mother's surprise birthday party and overheard it was a surprise for me.
All right. So here we have another mother. So we've been noticing a lot of mother themes, right? Because the mother, of course, is Bina on the Kabbalistic tree of life. And so she is the aspect of consciousness that creates reality. So mother's birth is surprise birthday party. Whenever we have a birthday, we want to pay particular attention to what is going to be birthed. And a birthday party is parting. We are parting from something. We are separating from something. It is a designation of that which is in the past and that which is beginning. And so he overheard it. It was a surprise for him. So we want to be aware that there is a sudden happening that is going to be birthed as John Michael's reality. So we want to be watching for what that could be, and we start to get an idea of that in the second set. So that was the first set. That was the first dream that John Michael had on Friday, April 24th, 2026. And the second set is I was at a pool with a red snake swimming in a zigzag as it swam towards me. Then a shift occurred and the snake was swimming from observer left to observer right. So a pool in a dream represents personal consciousness, as opposed to Michelle's tsunami, which was the ocean, which is the same as Carl Jung's collective subconscious. Okay, so whenever it's an ocean, that is incoming from the collective subconscious, but a little pool or lake is our own personal consciousness. Okay, we want to make that distinction. The red snake, of course, is his kundalini, what's called in the esoteric schools fat of the soul. And fat of the soul is the light that gives a symbol life within our own consciousness. And so we want to analyze our dreams to see what symbols and objects are overlarge. They have lots of fat of the soul, and that means they're imminently going to manifest as our reality. Or if they're flattened, that means that we are removing that light that gives that symbol life, and therefore we are minimizing the probability of what that symbol means as manifesting as our reality. Okay, manifesting as our reality. So now, the other thing about that snake is it was swimming in a zigzag. Now, a zigzag is the Tower card in the Tarot. And so the Tower card is, of course, what was conducted in 9/11, the Twin Towers. So the Tower card is the destruction of the house of consciousness, and the man and the woman falling out of the building, literally in New York, right, is the right and left hemispheres. So that is a fall in consciousness. The Tower card is represented by the zigzag. Any kind of a zigzag represents disharmonic frequency. So this red snake was representing disharmony. Okay, the Tower card. So, and we know, okay, now the next part is the snake had a popsicle stick in its mouth. Now, isn't that unusual? A popsicle stick. So a popsicle contains the word sickle, pop sickle, which is a reaping hook. So now when we have a sickle, which is a scythe, we have the death card. So this has layered meaning. That pop sickle has layered meaning of the death card. It is red. It is not only the root chakra where the Kundalini resides, but it is also Mars. Mars is red, and it is Geburah on the Kabbalistic tree of life, and it generally represents violence. Okay, so snakes have forked tongues. We know that they have the two tongues. Okay, the right and left directional awareness in snakes. The forked tongue, the right and left, they thrust their tongue out, take a sampling of the air, then they retract the tongue, and then they touch the tips to the top, to the roof of their mouths. They have these little receptacles in there, and they know the direction of whatever in their environment, okay? Whether it's coming from the right or it's coming from the left, all right? And if we go to a shaman and we do a shamanic journey, perhaps for our totem animals, at least I was directed when the animals, potential animals, were coming in psychically to reject any animal that came from the left. I was to only accept a totem animal straight on or coming from the right. So in this dream, we now have directional awareness, and that this is important. Of course, it's very important. So at one point, I thought the snake was, let's go back to the popsicle stick. That's where I have my notes. The two tines were unified. So in the John Michael's dream, the two forks were unified in the popsicle stick. And so no directional awareness. And and what does a popsicle stick imply? Frozen food energy, and that this food energy was already absorbed and frozen into memory. Because evil is not generally represented by hell and heat in MK Ultra and Illuminati mind control. Evil is represented by cold, not heat. Heat actually is beneficial because fire cleanses, and there's two levels, dimensional levels of fire, the Imperium and the elemental levels of fire. We need to control both levels in order to thwart psychic attack and mind control. So we need to command the air, the planes of air, the airplanes, and we need to control both levels of fire. And so this is cold. This is a warning sign, this dream to me, that there's things going on here that perhaps John Michael is not rationally aware of. So the frozen food was already absorbed. What does food represent in a dream? Food is energy absorption. So whenever we're eating in a dream, this is the frequency and energy we are ingesting and making part of our own consciousness. So he has already ingested the frozen food. And the popsicles, the actual sticks, are food grade wood, okay? They're ether. Wood is the Chinese element, fifth quintessential element of ether, and it was flat, so minimized. So we just want to note all that. At one point, I thought the snake was trying to strike out at me, and I snuck behind a white cloud for protection. Oh boy. Now here's the hostility right there in the dream content. The dream content tells us everything we need to know about everything in our lives. Literally, if we really pay attention to the dreams, strike out, hostility, that goes back to Mars. That told me that this was not a friendly snake, that the Kundalini life force energy represented by the red snake was violent. Okay. And we already know that from the sickle, the death card symbology. So, but this would be hostility against John Michael himself. So that's a deeper question, has his own Kundalini been reversed? Okay. Has it been reversed and he has a downward descending Kundalini that is in self-destruct mode? Or is that Kundalini energy, like the high voltage tower zigzag lightning coming in. Okay, so these, but right, so we want to be aware of these things as we analyze. White cloud. Okay, so let's go to again our BOTA yellow book, because we're going to actually read on page 43 the meaning of clouds. So the on page 43, the angel of the judgment card. This is all the judgment card, okay? So the angel is the true self. He is surrounded by clouds because the real self is veiled by appearances caused by the operation of the substance typified by water, of which the clouds are made up. So the first symbology in this dream is the judgment card and protection. He was afraid, so he hid. He snuck behind the white cloud for protection. Protection means fight, flight, or freeze. So he's under attack. I glanced around the cloud and saw a green frog swimming toward both the red snake and myself. The white cloud prevented me from seeing fully, and no matter how hard I tried to see, the cloud kept covering my vision. I heard some thrashing in the water and then silence. All right. So we know that a death occurred. Going back to the popsicle. Okay. The scythe of the death card. So, green frog. What does a green frog mean? Well, a green frog, shamanically, of course, means jumping between dimensional levels. And it's also a vibrant symbol of personal and spiritual growth. So it's a very high spiritual symbol, a green frog. They're really wonderful. The confusion surrounding frog respiration. Now, when we talk about frogs and snakes, we want to differentiate that frogs go through metamorphosis, but snakes do not. So the confusion surrounding frog respiration stems from the very nature of the amphibian life cycle. An amphibian, meaning two lives. Oh, gee, two lives. Isn't that fascinating? Two lives must transition from a fully aquatic existence to a primarily terrestrial one. Frogs undergo metamorphosis, starting life as aquatic tadpoles before developing into adult frogs, whereas snakes do not undergo such a transformation. So this dream, in my opinion, is about the metamorphosis going from water to air. So this dream actually symbolizes the spiritual dynamic of shifting from the emotions to the mental level of functioning, which is a higher frequency of consciousness. But we have some problems indicated in this dream. There's some clouds in the way of seeing the fact that the frog, we can presume, was eaten, absorbed, consumed, destroyed by the violence of the snake. So this is, again, a layered representation of what is happening in what I suspect is John Michael's deep subconscious mind of not realizing that there is still yet some aspect of consciousness that is preventing him from seeing some of the inner dynamics. And this then is a cue to me, being an MK Ultra child, that there is more going on at a deep subconscious level.
I will say this,
yeah,
Jennifer, John Michael shared his story with us. He was, and I don't think he'll mind me sharing a little bit of it with you, but a lot of what you're saying connects to it. He was, I believe, competitive diver. So there's your water. When he was a young person and went through abuses by coaches and officials, if you will, and then sort of rose above that, and now has become really a champion for victims. And so, all of what you're talking about in terms of the difficulties he went through and the rising above to the air, really, I think connects well. I think he'll be thrilled to watch your presentation.
I'm glad to hear that. I have a little bit more detail about that because I think I did look to see where he's located. He is in the state of Ohio, and there are a number of things that are occurring in that state. And when we talk about child abuse and child trafficking and so forth, yeah, we will want to show the license plate first. Okay, so when we're talking about these dynamics with children, and we have a serious issue. Show the Empress card first, John. Uh, when we're talking about these things, usually I would presume that there was some grooming going on. There was, yeah, there's our Empress. Okay. So when we actually have these child scenarios of grooming and abuse and so forth, there's generally, in my opinion, it isn't about the physicality of it. It's actually more, in my opinion, mind control. And this is being perpetrated on a mass scale. Uh, and I see in my business the results of what happens to these abused children when they reincarnate. So, over 15 years, I've dealt with all kinds of grandparents and parents bringing children in. And the issue is that these are the murdered and tortured children of the New World Order. And so they are traumatized, even starting out in their new incarnations. And that, in my opinion, is actually the real reason for all the child disappearance and child trafficking for the purpose of mind control. If they survive and if they reincarnate, um, they're starting at a very traumatized level of consciousness. So we want to look at the Empress card here to see what is happening in the state of Ohio, in my opinion, right now. We see that the Empress card has a lot of wheat. Now, John, can you show the Ohio license plate? Now, license plates are used by the Illuminati because they represent our identity. All right. Now, what do we see in this Ohio license plate since October 2021? There are 21 tarot cards in the major arcana. And the Empress card has the river from the right hemisphere, the High Priestess, that flows into the field of wheat. We have the city. Notice the city. So these are the things we want to start noticing. We want to become awake and aware as the depths of the unseen. We want to start understanding our dreams and how the subconscious communicates. We see a city there. So we know that the left hemisphere of the Empress level of consciousness is depicted by the cityscape. The High Priestess, the right hemisphere, is depicted by the tree with the dog. Dog is God spelled backwards. The swing is the swing of consciousness and creating reality. The tree is the Kabbalistic tree of life, and the water flowing into the field and growing. So growth here. The wheat represents the growth of seed thought form from the High Priestess into the Empress, which is the sun. The sun is the sexual male sperm. That is the Kundalini. That is the fat of the soul that occurs then, appears in the dream content as over large objects and people. And we have Let's count the rays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. John, please show the Judgment Tarot card. And we will, this harkens back to John Michael's dream, where we have the Judgment. When, if we see the horn right there, beaming down on the Empress, that is the Empress right there on her arms. And we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 7 main chakras of the etheric body. Okay. And that baby is that new thought form, the reconciliation of opposites, or the Hegelian dialectic of what the birthing baby is going to be. Okay. So now let's go to the article. This just occurred 2 days ago. This is an article. I highly recommend reading this article as much as you can about it, because in my opinion, there is something going on in the state of Ohio, and it may be also because John Michael is public. So whenever those of us who have been targeted go public, things start getting more interesting. Okay. And so if we scroll down a little bit, John, now let's take a look at those faces. If you look at the woman in the bottom right, the older woman, you will see exact triangles below her eyes. So she represents the downward triangle of water. All right. In my opinion, these people look as though they have been tortured all their lives. Okay. And this is staged. The young girl who supposedly birthed 16 children, okay, 16, Tower card. There is green shadowed upon her throat, which is the heart chakra, and incorrectly placed upon the blue throat chakra. Oh, thank you, John. Yep. And so we have a mixing of energies at the throat chakra, and we have red, that red Mars energy around the eyes, and we have snake-like hairdo. All right. The older gentleman, obviously, it's so obvious, it's unbelievable. And the young man, the supposed father of these 16 neglected children, he has a very round face. And notice the square face of the female, the young female. So that is the high priestess, and the man is the moon, but they are everything here in these photographs is actually being programmed into, in my opinion, the right hemisphere of the high priestess, moon face and square face. So then, oh, John, if we need to scroll down now. Okay, now we're going to scroll down that article, and right below, we're going to see that these children were kept for 4 years in a 12 by 12 foot room. Okay, 12 by 12. Now let's take a look. John, let me show my book here. For anyone who has actually been a target, this is one of the most essential books that is needed. Okay. For those of us who have been targeted, it takes years to get through this book because it's so, it contains so much truth. Pardon? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. He's going to show it more up front. Okay. Now, yeah, there we go. All right. So in this book, it is explained that an MK Ultra system is programmed in what would be called in Freemasonry a magic square. That means a 13 by 13 by 13 cube. And of course, going back to BOTA, we know that consciousness can be totally and completely programmed and controlled through the depiction of a square and the mathematical and occult attributions put into that square. So these children, oh, how amazing. These children were kept in a 12 by 12 room. It's so obvious, it's ridiculous. Now let's go back to the article, and we're going to scroll down and we're going to look at the type of photographs. Okay. Now, John, I want you to show one of the photographs from my own childhood, mind control photographs. Show the photograph of myself. Okay, so I have about 14 of these mind control photographs that were used for mind controlling me. This is one of them. And we will see, just like John Michael's dream, we will see the little pool. There is the little kiddie pool. Any kind, now remember, any kind of small swimming pool is going to be one's own consciousness. And then we see a pile of junk in the back. There's a walker and there are lounge. They're all metal. And that goes into Freemasonry. It represents the rational mind. Metal blocks light. And so that's why when we enter the Holy of Holies in any Freemasonic lodge, all jewelry has to be removed so to have complete access to the subrational mind. So this is me driving what? A red colored steering wheel. Okay. And the
We don't
junkyard.
see it,
So
Jen.
junkyards are a typical mind control embed in MK Ultra. So clouds would be as well. Yeah. Okay.
We weren't
So,
seeing that
We-
image, unfortunately. We
We
were
could-
seeing the newspaper article, but we
oh,
get
you
the
didn't see
message.
the photograph. Okay. Yeah, he's working on that. Zooms a little. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah.
There it is. Okay. All right, here it is. So there's the little kiddie pool. Okay. So yeah, whenever we see a pool, that represents personal subconsciousness as opposed to the ocean of Michelle's tsunami, which is the collective subconscious. Okay. We see the junkyard, which is a very, very typical embed in MK Ultra mind control right at the back of my head. Okay. We see the Mars red steering wheel of my little car there. If you really, really look closely, you will see that one tire is fat and the other front tire is skinny. So this is so that they can control the fat of the soul within my subconscious mind throughout my life to manipulate and control what I manifested, what had spiritual life force of the Kundalini in my dream content and what did not. Okay. So now let's go back to the article and we're going to scroll down to the actual photographs that were taken of this supposedly dilapidated house in Ohio where John Michael resides. So keep scrolling down. All right.
We don't see it yet.
Okay. All right. All right. Are you seeing it now?
Yeah. You see the
Okay.
article.
Okay. All right. Now keep scrolling down. Oh, this one. Oh, this one doesn't. This one. How did it change so quickly? Okay. Okay. What I would suggest is that everyone actually look for that article where it's the full version. This one got truncated, and you will actually see what was a fake, a staged junkyard on the observer right of the front lawn. You'll see it. You'll see that this is completely, in my opinion, fabricated. And so my last analysis for John Michael is that there's a lot going on, in my opinion, in the state of Ohio. And so the dream content needs to be logged every single morning and analyzed to really know what is all happening at a subrational level.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. Some scary things there, but also through your presentation, some really enlightening ones. I think we're blessed to have your insight on these things. Did you have to study a lot to, you know, gain the knowledge, or how did it work for you?
Yes, I have studied a lot. And well, I didn't realize I had been mind controlled until my late 30s, early 40s. And I was guided to this realization through the Masters of Wisdom. And once they told me to look at my childhood photographs because I was studying the tarot cards, and I refused, and they kept telling me telepathically to go look at my childhood photographs. And when I opened the photographs that I had taken from my grandmother's box of just family photographs, I was stupefied because I was recognizing that these were not normal photographs. And many of them depicted actual tarot cards that I was studying. And I had entered, since I come from a Freemasonic family background, I was studying Freemasonry. I was studying in Martinism. I was joining all these orders, and I had just an insatiable desire for esoteric knowledge. And I sat and I finally realized that I was a targeted individual. And so it took years and years of deprogramming, but I was guided the entire time interdimensionally. And in that process, I overcame everything. I cured myself of multiple diseases. I fixed my mind. I fixed my body. I fixed my finances. I fixed everything in my life. And I have no fear. I have no fear because I have mastery. Where there's mastery, there's no mystery. And so um, I don't consider any of these things frightening because everyone has free will. It's perfectly okay what other people want to do or what they elect to do. If they attempt to impact me, I have overcome. And so I share those methods and so forth with my clients. And so it's all good in the end.
Fantastic. Sue has a question or a comment for you.
You bet.
Thank you. Jennifer, I want to go back to something you said in the very beginning around astral projection and astral travel.
Oh, yes.
Because we had a spiritual teacher who speaks a lot about that and insisted this was something to be working on. And I was very resistant, and I told him that I wasn't into it. And he seemed very disappointed that I didn't find this to be a priority. But in essence, it comes from the idea that I rarely recall a dream. And when I do, as I had a dream 2 weeks ago about Prince Charles, and well, when before he was king. And anyhow, so I spoke to Michael about it because it's so rare that I have a dream. He's doing all the dreaming in our bedroom, and I wake up pretty much a blank slate. So I just wanted you to clarify because, again, lots of friends who are really into working on lucid dreaming. And can you just expand a little bit on this?
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Remember, you will not remember your dreams if you OBE at night. You are outside of your etheric body, and not only will you have no recall of your dream content that you're processing in your etheric body, you are also vulnerable to anything or anyone in the astral dimension without rational awareness. I would say that the person who wanted you to OBE at night and astral project without rational awareness, only OBE when you are awake during the day and you intentionally do so and have full rational capability. Do not do it at night. That person, in my opinion, was evil. Yep. That person wanted to get you vulnerable outside of your etheric body, outside of your protection of your own consciousness, outside of your habitual consciousness, where your soul, just like the Holy of Holies within the Freemasonic Lodge, your soul would have been completely bare and accessible. And in that condition, that person would have conditioned your subconscious mind to do certain things. And you would not have remembered one iota of that conditioning upon awakening. This is incorrect spiritual teaching, in my opinion, and the lucid dreaming. Now, the thing about spirituality nowadays is that there are so many extraterrestrials incarnated into human bodies that they are the ones pushing technology. They are the ones who are at the forefront of the spiritual industry. Okay? We have to be extremely careful who we link up with spiritually, because the majority of them are no good. And within, just like that article, I wanted to show the article so that we start to begin to be awake and aware and not accept everything as good or well intended. This simply is not the case. So lucid dreaming also is no good, because again, we're not going to know the actual meaning of the dream symbols and objects. We need to allow our consciousness. So what we do, here's your homework. This is how we begin to work at inner levels at night, but without mucking around by lucid dreaming or abdicating our sovereignty and leaving the body at night. Okay? The ascended masters, the masters of wisdom, will come to us. All we have to do is think of them, call them. Instantaneously, they are there, and they will work with you in this dimension. And if need be, as I started giving tarot readings 15 years ago, I didn't have some interpretations of specific cards correct, so they would come in my dreams and correct my interpretation. So they will guide the entire way. All you people are connected. All you people are adepts. Yeah, very advanced, which is why I was thrilled to be a guest. Very advanced spirituality here. Okay. So they will come. We don't have to go out and go to some ashram or something out in the astral dimension. No, we stay in our bodies and have the masters come to us properly. And lucid dreaming, no good. And so here's what we want to do instead. Grab your pens, everybody grab your magical pen and paper. And I want you to write this affirmation. My dreams automatically adjust, ADJUST, adjust and correct all. Now, all is a code word, Kabbalistic code word. Capitalize the A, small ll. So my dreams automatically adjust and correct all in conformity with my rational definition of beneficial advantageous, and desirable, period. My dreams automatically adjust and correct all in conformity with my rational definition of beneficial, advantageous, and desirable, period. Now, for you, Sue, since there's a block to remembering the dreams, you will want to also repeat, I remember my dreams. Give the command. So what you do is memorize both sentences, repeat 3 times mentally, silently every night with your head on the pillow, and you will start to remember your dreams. Now, to specifically a visualization to remember dreams is to close the eyes and visualize violet fire blazing from beneath your feet to above your head, 360 around the whole body. That will cleanse all of the obstacles in the webs. There's a webbing over the chakras, and it'll start to rarefy and cleanse the webbing. So and let me just make a further comment. In your case, Sue, your high spirituality is what caused you to resist.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'll just tell you that this teacher appeared in a dream to me last week, just a glimpse, and in my home, in the front entrance of my home. And in the dream, I walked through, spotted him, and I said hello in not a very open way, and kept going.
Precisely.
So he's around. And in my dream state, I'm like, yeah, no, no, thanks.
Yep. So that person wanted access, gained access, so did something to gain access. Yep. And if you had been remembering your dreams and logging the dreams, you would have immediately identified that the exact morning after the attack, because they have to attack. And the attack is to gain ingress into the subrational mind. And then the whole reason he was disappointed that you didn't want to astral project is then he didn't have direct access to you. And that would have been the mind control. He's still after you.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thanks, Jennifer. You have no idea how spot on you are. Michael has a comment to add. That's okay.
All right.
Yeah, I just want to say that again, the hummingbird returned at the very end and danced in front of me 2 seconds ago.
Oh my God.
Can't make this stuff up. Can't make it up.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. This has just been a delight. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Maybe next year we could bring you back for another session if you're feeling up to it. But
absolutely,
thank you. I think once people see the kind of clarity you bring to dreams and the meaning, as you say, a layered meaning to it, it's very fascinating. So thank you. Much appreciated.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's been a joy.
So we will wrap up. First, we will do Sue, would you like to share the mantra of unification with us?
I would, but I'll say, Jennifer, are you familiar with the mantra of unification?
Only on the Sunday circles that I watch.
Well, because, I see how awake you are. And so if there's any energy in it that I need to know about, I'd be happy to.
I will listen carefully then. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're so aware of the things we talk about in terms of the Illuminati and on we could go on that topic. And so this has just been a wonderful conversation, so helpful to all of us and to our listeners on YouTube. And Soul School Network is growing through some big projects we have underway. And so I do hope you would consider coming back, because later this year we are going to have a much larger audience and reach. And I think people would benefit so much to hearing from all that you have to share, because I know there's much more you could share than what you have today. That's for sure. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I will say the mantra of unification. And also just to mention, for our listeners, is that we have an amazing speaker as well in 2 weeks. Her name is Dr. Carmen Smith, and she's written a book called The I Am Solution. And so she has taken these sort of esoteric I am teachings into a very grounded teaching for us to use. She's was a social worker, and I've read her book. It's lovely. So anyway, tune in a couple of weeks for those who are so inclined. I'm going to share my screen for those who do not know the mantra of unification. And did I close it? Maybe I did. Huh. I don't think I was protecting my bandwidth. Here it is. I'll see if I can share that now. Okay, here we go. Okay. The souls of all are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact due service. I seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love which underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all people love. Amen. Namaste. Miigwech. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. And once again, thank you, Jennifer. We're back on July 19th with, as Sue mentioned, Dr. Carmen Smith. You can, in the meantime, watch our programs on our website, soulschoolnetwork.com. We also have a YouTube page with that name. And feel free to sign up for our newsletter. In that way, you'll be able to get information on future guests as they come. So thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.